Hello, I'm Finn and today we are looking through the hot posts from our /AskReddit. Today's question is, what loophole did you exploit before anyone find out? Today's first answer is, the McDonald's app used to have an entry in the order book for garlic parmesan fries that you only found through the search option. Cost $0. Every time I ordered it I got free regular fries. Also, you can set the drink option on Happy Meals to coffee, which is not really a loophole but handy. In the comments, Oil Beef Hook says that you are able to get a beer with Happy Meals in the US. Today's second replay is, when we had a daily limit of 1 hour on our AOL account, my sister figured out if you unplugged the phone line during your session and logged back in, it reset your hour. And someone else goes into another loophole that you could do with AOL. Couldn't leave this thread until someone had the decency to mention AOL. Remember receiving those endless free trial CDs in the mail? You could keep signing up for accounts with minimal changes to your username, so that friends could find each other after an absence. If I recall, certain people would milk for extra time when they received a prompt for billing information. All you needed was a valid bank routing number. The actual account number could be totally made up. Sigh. I remember when getting in a mail was a big deal, like a letter from a pen pal. Now here is today's third replay. Parking meters took credit cards, but they weren't actually connected to a live network at all times. The machine just confirmed the card number was valid and was not expired, then spit out a valid pass. So when my card number got stolen and replaced, I kept my old, canceled card. Of course, when the system tried to run the card later, it would be declined. My car and I were long gone by then. Sadly, they wised up and now it charges your card before giving you a pass. And now here is tonight's fourth reply. There used to be this app called Freeris or something on Facebook back when it first came out. It was a widget, I think, where you could answer multiple choice questions, and for each one right you would have a grain of rice donated to a family. Well, that was quite shit because a bowl of rice was a ton of grains. So I one day found out while playing that if I knew an answer 100%, I could spam click the answer repeatedly until I got bored, and when the website finally loaded in my selection it would count as a ton of right answers. I eventually earned about 500,000 grains of rice for some family if they actually ended up donating. And in the comments of that post someone shows an update that Free Rice put out from the About section of the website. Please note, as of 30 July 2020, we have temporarily reduced all scorers in the game to 5 grains of rice instead of 10. This is because, due to the COVID crisis, the online market is not generating enough money for us to consistently guarantee that Freeris can raise enough money each day to purchase 10 grains of rice per right answer. When the ad market improves, we will increase the per question score back up to 10 again. Now tonight's fifth story. I went to a sporting goods store and they asked me for my phone number when I was paying. I was in a bad mood and didn't want to fight with the clerk, so I told them our local area code plus 555 1212, which is the old number for directory assistance. Clerk accepted it and I left. When I checked my receipt, I had a huge number of loyalty points, because apparently a ton of other people did the same thing. I called the office the next day and switched the account to my new address. A half dozen times over the next few years, I went and got free stuff with all the points that I kept racking up as one of their most loyal customers. Here is tonight's sixth story. Because I was a good student and rarely got into trouble, I was allowed to have my own phone extension in my room. So, if I was out past curfew, I'd call home. When my mom answered, I'd say, "It's for me. I've got it," and she'd think I was up in my room. She never did catch on. And then someone else shares their story. You just reminded me of mine even. Back in the olden days, late 90s, telephone minutes were expensive, and I also had a landline extension in my bedroom for the kids' line that we used for dial-up internet. When my mom told me I had to get off the phone and go to bed, I'd schedule down to the minute a time for my boyfriend to call me back. In order to have it not ring, I'd call the weather line and listen to the forecast on repeat and wait for him to beep in on call waiting. We'd talk till sunup some nights, then arrange for him to pick me up from the school bus stop, and I'd ditch out for the first few periods. A young lover. Now for tonight's seventh story. Worked out how to get the jackpot every time on a Connect 4 fruit machine in a pub I used to drink in. It would cost about PS5, PS10 before you'd get into the bonus round. Then when you did, you'd play a Connect 4 game against the machine. Place the first counter, and then after the machine places the next counter, you mirror the machine's move. Every game ends in a draw, and you win the jackpot, which was PS50. The pub landlord removed the machine after around 3 months as it was regularly empty. Basically paid for my drinking and more for 3 months.
And now for tonight's final story. Used to work for the BBC. They have, as you'd expect, their entire archive digitized. I was working on some cloud stuff, so needed access to it to check some access rights. This was literally everything ever shown on the BBC, ever downloadable in a ton of video and audio formats. iPlayer is just a fraction of what was in that archive. Took them about 6 years after I left to remove my account. So 6 years free access to probably the largest 10-movie database around.